Hello, welcome back to Improvement, the show by SC2Improve. I'm Wardí and we're going to go straight on into the next game because we've got loads of replays to get through. In the bottom right corner we do have our blue Zerg player SnowZi, who did submit this replay. And in the top left hand corner we do have our red Protoss player TiHayemaker. So ZvP, which is going to start off with a Forge Fast Expand coming right on up there on Antiga. So we'll look at the scouting pattern of TiHayemaker. He's going to scout his opponent second. He might see this Overlord in fact, no, it looks like he's just going to miss it. If he'd seen the Overlord he maybe would have been able to go over to his opponent's base a little bit sooner, but it's not really going to matter here. As SnowZi probably just going to go for the pool first, he'll still get over there in time to probably play a little bit of Bloxies on the hatchery, so... So, SnowZi doesn't have a pool down quite yet, that's just going to go down right now. Forge going to come down first for our Protoss player in fact, and you know, pretty standard. I mean, with the probe just coming in now, it was very possible he could have gone for the Nexus first until his probe got here, but you know, putting down the Forge first because he didn't scout his opponent first, just being nice and safe early on in the game. He's going to throw down the Nexus pretty soon here. This Protoss player not doing anything too crazy at all, as we actually see our Zerg SnowZi going to try and get that hatch down, but of course them probes are so annoying. Finally gets it down before he has to get 2 more hits off on the probe, so not the end of the world. Getting it down nice, relatively quickly. Yeah, it wasn't delayed as long as it was in that earlier ZvP we saw where Crownman was blocking that hatchery for quite some time. SnowZi's starting up his queens. Gonna send an Overlord over here. Just this kind of the scout he's really got here. He just wants to check. Well, you've got a Forge up. Well, your Forge fast expanding, cool. Because once he knows that, he can take his third base at the 420, 430-ish mark, as he would kind of like to. So, nice for him to just be able to scout that nice and quickly, as the Overlord flies on through. Cannon actually just going to finish up, going to be able to shoot down on that Overlord. It's going to actually be able to get away though. The Overlord going to be able to hide in the back there, or so. Yeah, it just gets away with 23 health. I thought I was going to be wrong there. I was going to be like, wow, Overlords really are a bit overpowered. But no, that's not the case, unfortunately, sadly. Third base does start up for our Zerg player, which is exactly the kind of thing we want to see if we're just looking for that standard 3-hatch play. 420, 430-ish mark for that third base, as the lava injects do start to roll on out. And the Stars just been on top of that, of course, from very early on. So the probe just going to come out here. It looks like he's going to add on the Siren X core, which is a little bit delayed because of the fact he didn't have a probe there in time. So TiHayemaker is a little bit behind than a little bit more behind than he should be, because he also got that cannon very early on too, just because he's decided to wall at the front. So a little bit of a bad opening for the Protoss. Not the most efficient of Forge fast expands, at least. As the Zerg player, you know, he just went up to the front. He just scouted out, you know, checking if things are still there. Yes, they're still there, and he's just going to have these 2 lings now on the in the middle of the map. So this third base finishes up, and SnowZi starts up his double gases. They're pretty similar time it is natural as well. So just in case the Protoss tries to get into the main base with an observer, just try and play a few man games, anything like that. From the Protoss player, we aren't seeing a robot facility quite yet, and we're also not quite yet seeing a... It looks like that may be it there. There's a robot facility. You might very possibly be about to see the double gas as well. So again, just a little bit more delayed than you might usually expect from them gases for that robot facility. And again, it's just not being the most efficient of expands from the Protoss player. So it's up to the Protoss player now. Does he want to kind of go for the kind of 2-base all-in? Does he want to go for a mortal sentry? Or does he want to go for the expansion, attempt at an expansion anyway? Antiga's not the worst map in the world for expanding on. You've got 2 choke points here you can force fields off. You've got the choke point here you can force field or wall off too as well, so very possible to defend pretty easily here. At the same time, it's not easy. You have to do hit down them force fields very nicely and on time, of course. It's all going to come down to what he makes first out of the rover facility. Is it going to be an observer? Is it going to be an immortal? No observer made quite yet, so very possibly an immortal waiting for the minerals maybe. What's it gonna be? He's got not too much chrono boost saved, so maybe not an immortal sentry all in at all. Especially as he's not rushing out this immortal in any sense of the word, so doesn't look like we're going to be seeing an immortal sentry all in. So SnowZi right now, it's going to kind of come up to him as we actually see a stalker getting trapped over here by a few lings, not really able to do too much damage there, as the pylon's going to be able to be picked off as well. So finally an immortal starting to get chrono boosted. A couple of gateways have finished up, and SnowZi right now, he's just started up his +1. He needs to be careful with his supply. He's gone overload in his opponent's main. He hasn't seen that robotics facility. He could consider sending this overload back in over here just to check the natural out a little bit, because he's not seen anything in the main. And if he did, he'd be able to pick up on that Twilight Council as well, as that first immortal does just pop out. And a second immortal on the way as well. +1's about to finish too. So SnowZi a little bit in the dark still, because again, he can't really see too much. If we look at the income tab, he's only on 50 drones, and he's actually already going up to that infestation pit. Now starting up another 17 drones, feeling pretty safe right now. I think, you know, he's saying, well, you don't have that many gateways, you probably not all in me, but in fact everything is just down in the natural. And, you know, this is going to be an immortal, and albeit very delayed, a lot slower than it could have been. So SnowZi's going to find himself facing an immortal, but he's going to have an infestation pit pretty damn quick here. He's on that kind of 64 drone count, maybe one or two too many drones. 3 or 4 too many drones in comparison to what you should need. But again, this timing is a little bit off, so SnowZi, he just needs to kind of pump units right now. He's going to get a lot of lings out to be able to bait them force fields early on with their very high speed ability. We see the third immortal about to finish. The War Prism Observer already queued up as well. Another sentry or two being added. And again, chrono boosting out that +2 weapons, and he's actually going for blink. So he's going for like a +2 7-gate blink with 3 immortals. So it's a little bit of a weird take on the immortal 70. And again, he's moving out so late that his opponent Snowzi, he's just going to be able to get that hive tech, not hive tech. He's going to get an infestation pit up. Maybe infestation should be hive tech. He's going to be able to get the infestation pit up. Get 6 infestors out, which is going to shut down this pretty nicely. Going to shut down the blink play pretty well. And in general, look at this. SnowZi just has so many lings out on the map already. He's going to be able to try and bait some force fields here. He sees this army moving around. A little bit, not really paying attention there. Could have forced them force fields if he went straight on the army, but there's actually a lot of zealots here too, so might not have been as easy as it sounds. A few roaches now trying to retreat back. Some spine cores coming up as well in nice defensive positions. With the infestors there, it's going to be able to hold them units in position quite nicely. So once again, we see these things trying to come in from behind to force some force fields, but the TiHayemaker not really being baited too easily here. His blink is finished, his +2 finished, so he's going to go for it right now. A few roaches, a little bit of a misclick or misrally there from SnowZi. And again, he's got these lings out on the map. He's going to be able to come in for a surround if he would like to do so. The Pringles are going to be absolutely huge on almost all of the army here. And right now, I think SnowZi, if anything, should just be attacking with the rest of his units, because right now, there's no reason not to be. Another Fungal's going to go off. His unit's going to come in from behind. Sentries go down. And SnowZi just going to be able to pick off this all these units very, very easily here. And then Spine Cores did a lot of damage. I really would like to see him just moving in a little bit faster, you know. You have the Spine Callers up, so why not just fight with the Spine Callers, with the army, or at least get them force fields out nice and early. But nonetheless, he's going to be able to take down the War Prism here, or is he? No, the War Prism's going to pull back, but SnowZi with a very impressive hold, in fact, on the Immortal Sentry Blink Stalker kind of 7-gate thing. Making a lot more lings here. Knows all of the force fields have gone in, so the lings are going to be very, very infected. Repositioning some of these spine cores too. So in general, SnowZi's game plan here, just get the infestors out and hold with the spine cores, worked out very well. Again, just could have been a little bit more on top of things in terms of picking up on the lings here, baiting a few more force fields and so on. As the lings and roaches are now just going to chase away these stalkers, and it's going to be a pretty fast ZvP in fact, and some infestors, Terrans going to come down as well. The lings continuing to stream around. There is blink still up for these stalkers, remember, but it looks like they're not going to use it for now. Finally blinking away. Probe picked off as well, and SnowZi doubling the supply, and his opponent leaves the game. So again, not really that much to say. Just SnowZi, you know, he could have. I feel like he could have buried a few more force fields, been a bit more careful with them lings, which were taking down them rocks and so on. And as well as that, just floating this overload back into the natural to try and see exactly where all them buildings were, because he had to know something was missing, right? Because there was nothing in the main. He saw that clearly with the overload and the overseer, so he just needed to see really with the in the main base a little bit sooner than what he did. He saw it in the end with the overseer, but a little bit sooner with this overload here would have been able to show him things a little bit more quickly. So nice hold, and that's pretty much all I really have to say. So we're going to jump into another replay here pretty much just immediately.